Hello dear friends, from today's video we are going to start a new series on ANS, that is autonomic nervous system. We all know that ANS is classified into two systems, that is sympathetic system and parasympathetic system. But many times we get confused on what basis that they are classified. So let's see about that. Just consider this as a brain and spinal cord. First system that we will see is parasympathetic system, which is also known as craniosacral because it originates from cranial region and sacral region. As we can see in circular region that it is a ganglia. Ganglia means it is a junction between two neurons. As we can see at both neuron, that is at preganglia and postganglia, neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. Therefore parasympathetic system is also known as cholinergic system, and at ganglion there is nicotinic receptor N type. And as we can see in parasympathetic system, ganglia is present near to the organ. Second one is sympathetic system, which is also known as dorsolumbar system. It originates from lumbar or thoracic region. As we can see here in previous one, that is in parasympathetic, ganglia was away from brain, means near to the organ, while in sympathetic it is away from organ while it is near to spinal cord. In sympathetic system, preganglia was acetylcholine, and in this also there is acetylcholine, but difference is in postganglia, here is in sympathetic system is noradrenaline. So therefore sympathetic system is also known as adrenergic system. And in next case we can see in at both the region, means at postganglia and preganglia region, acetylcholine is present, but it also comes under sympathetic system, and which is further connected to sweat glands. Next one, that is it is second part of parasympathetic system, because as we have discussed earlier, parasympathetic system is also known as craniosacral system because it originates from cranial and sacral region. In this it is like in cranial region, like because at both the side, that is preganglia and postganglia, acetylcholine is neurotransmitter. Here it is attached to NM receptor that is present at skeletal muscle, that is neuromuscular end plate region. So this was overall about how ANS is classified into two system, that is sympathetic system and parasympathetic system. Next we will see about biosynthesis of noradrenaline. Noradrenaline is synthesized from tyrosine. As we all know, tyrosine is a amino acid. Tyrosine, in the presence of enzyme tyrosine hydroxylase, is converted to DOPA. DOPA, in the presence of enzyme DOPA decarboxylase, is converted to dopamine. This dopamine is transported to vesicles present in the neuron in this manner, where it is converted into noradrenaline, and then this noradrenaline synthesize comes out of the neuron, and further it can be binds to alpha receptor or beta receptor, and then shows their respective action. Now we will see about some drugs here. Tyrosine hydroxylase means conversion of tyrosine to DOPA. It is the rate limiting step in the biosynthesis of noradrenaline. This enzyme is inhibited by a drug metyrosine. The next one, that is DOPA decarboxylase, which catalyzes the conversion of DOPA to dopamine. This enzyme is inhibited by the drug known as carbidopa. Then there are three drugs, that is rezarpine, tetrabenazine, and valbenazine. They inhibits these three drugs binds on vesicles and inhibits the conversion of dopamine to noradrenaline. Next one, that is cocaine and TCA, that is tricyclic antidepressant. this inhibits the reuptake, means the noradrenaline which comes out of the neuron, which it maybe binds on alpha receptor or beta receptor, and remaining is sent back to the neuron for further synthesis. So this reuptake is inhibited by cocaine and tricyclic antidepressants. Now next two drugs, that is gonethidine and bretillium. These two drugs inhibits the release of noradrenaline from vesicles. So this was all about general biosynthesis of noradrenaline. Now we will see about sympathomimetics system. In sympathomimetic system, main neurotransmitter is adrenaline, so therefore it is also noradrenaline or noradrenaline, so it is also known as adrenergic system. Now we will see about its drugs. First one are direct acting. Direct actings are they are catecholamines. Catecholamines may be endogenous or nor-endogenous. Catecholamines means it is a chemical nucleus, catechol nucleus, under which three amines come, that is noradrenaline, adrenaline and dopamine. Next class under catecholamines are exogenous. In exogenous are the congeners of actual endogenous catecholamines, which includes dobutamine, which is congener of dopamine, then dopexamine, phenol-dopam, and isoprenaline. Next ones are non-catecholamines, which includes xylometazoline, clonidine, phenylephrine, salbutamol, methoxamine. Then next is indirect acting. Indirect acting means they do not directly bind to that particular receptor, but it promotes the activity of catecholamines, so therefore they are known as indirect. First one, that is reuptake inhibitor. In previous slide we have seen that reuptake inhibitors, which includes reuptake inhibitors means release noradrenaline is inhibited from reuptake, which includes two drugs, that is cocaine and tricyclic antidepressants. Then action by displacement, which includes amphetamine, methylphenidate and modafinil. Then final class is drugs which shows mixed action, which includes ephedrine, pseudoephedrine and mephateramine. Now we will see about the receptor of adrenergic system. They are mainly classified into two types, that is alpha and beta. And further, alpha is classified into two types. First one is that is alpha 1. It mainly works through the pathway of IP3DAG. We have earlier discussed about the pathway of receptors. Then the agonist of alpha 1 is phenylephrine and antagonist is prazosin. Then its location, it is present at post-junctional on effector organ, means it is present after the ganglia. Then it is present in heart, where it increases the force of contraction, which means it shows a positive inotropic effect. Then it is present in gut, where it shows relaxation. Then on smooth muscles it shows contraction, and on liver it shows glycogenolysis. Then on glands, it enhances the secretion of glands. It may be of gastric glands or many others. Then second type is alpha 2 receptor. This was all about alpha 1. It works on the mechanism of that is pathway is it decreases CAMP and increases potassium channel. In alpha 1, that is IP3DAG pathway, secondary messenger is that is IP3DAG, and in alpha 2 it is CAMP, means CMP. And then its agonist is clonidine and antagonist is yohimbine. It's now we will see about its location. It is a prejunctional nerve ending, means it is present at prejunctional nerve ending, which inhibits transmitter release. Here means transmitter release means here we deals with noradrenaline. Then at post junctional nerve ending, which decreases the central sympathetic flow. This central sympathetic flow is mainly useful in treating hypertension. Then it is presented with beta cells in pancreas, where it decreases insulin release. Then at blood vessels, it causes vasoconstriction, and it is also present on platelets, where it enhances the aggregation of platelets. Now this was all about alpha receptor. Now we will see about beta receptors. First one, that is beta 1. It is present in heart, where it increases the rate and force of contraction, which means positive inotropic and positive chronotropic effect. It is also present on JG cells, that is juxtaglomerular cells present in the kidney, where it enhances the release of renin, due to which there is increase in blood pressure. And its agonists are dobutamine, and antagonist is atenolol. And next one, that is beta 2. It is present in bronchi, blood vessels, uterus, liver, gastrointestinal tract, urinary tract, and eyes. In liver, it causes glycogenolysis. Its agonist is salbutamol, and antagonist is propranolol. And then next one is, that is beta 3. Beta 3 is present in adipose tissue and or fat cells, where it has only one function, that is lipolysis. Now this last one, which in which we will see about the actions of adrenergic system on different organ of body or different parts of the body. First one is heart. In heart, it increases heart rate, and also it increases the force of contraction, which means positive chronotropic and positive inotropic effect. Then in blood vessels, alpha receptors are responsible for constriction, while beta are responsible for dilation. Then on CNS, it stimulates alpha 2 receptor that is present in brainstem, which decreases sympathetic outflow uh, and decreases blood pressure, and it causes bradycardia. This mechanism of decreasing sympathetic outflow is very much useful in treating hypertension, uh, which in which drugs includes are mainly methyl dopa. Then next one is, that is on eye. In eyes, it causes mydriasis, which means dilation of pupil. Next one is, that is on gastrointestinal tract, where it causes relaxation of wall muscle and contraction of sphincter. Then next is, that is on bladder. In bladder, there are two types of muscle, that is detrusor muscles and trigone muscles. On detrusor muscle, it causes relaxation due to alpha receptor, while on trigone muscles, it causes constriction due to beta receptors. Next one is, that is on uterus. Adrenaline causes relaxation of uterus, but in pregnant ladies, while in non-pregnant, it causes contraction. Then on lungs, or we can say on bronchioles, that is beta 2 receptors are present on bronchioles. It causes relaxation. This mechanism mainly helps in treating asthma, where mainly salbutamol is used in as in nebulizer or in inhaled form.